Here we are in an approximately 45 square meter apartment in Prenzlauer Berg, Berlin. This place is 20s inspired. The theme is super unique. I've never been in a place like this, and I cannot wait to take you guys through this tour, starting with the living space. So the place is divided into little sections with seating areas and this beautiful antique dining table. All of the furniture in here is over 100 years old, which is kind of wild to think about, and it's all been found in different flea markets, vintage stores around Berlin, and also online. Look at this incredible wallpaper that we've got going on here. And I think it's really smart that they decided to end the wallpaper with these gorgeous pillars as well. And one of my favorite parts about this entire place is the chandeliers. Every single room, even the bathroom, has a chandelier, and it's gorgeous. Another chill area over here with a very comfy armchair situation. And I really like how there are quite a few different sitting areas, and it's a really good sized room. You also have an antique TV stand here with a TV which is probably the most modern thing you'll find in this apartment. And over here in this corner, we have a beautiful antique dresser again, which actually opens into a desk, I believe. So that's actually pretty cool. I'm sorry, but how stunning is this? I wish I could have this desk in my home. And you've got these little drawers as well, and the detail is immaculate. Then we come to this little corner over here where we have this stunning chest of drawers. If you just take a closer look at the details that are carved into it, absolutely incredible. And we have this wall of art as well with some very unique different style paintings from different artists. And finally, you have this larger cabinet on the opposite side. And again, you've got these stunning carvings and golden details, which are very beautiful. Now let's move on to the kitchen/hallway area. This is very cool, you guys. Here we have an over 100-year-old chest of drawers that has been converted into a kitchen. You've got your stovetop cutout over here, a microwave, pretty modern, and then also a cutout for the kitchen sink. Very, very smartly designed. And this bit I really love, which is quite open and you can see the dishes, but the dishes are so beautiful that I actually don't mind that at all. A personal favorite of mine is this gorgeous backsplash in the kitchen. It really gives it a pop of color and a freshness. A nice touch is also this vintage mirror that you can check yourself out before you head out. Everything has a different tone of wood, which kind of works together, interestingly enough, although they're sometimes very different. It's all about these small details in here that you really have to pay attention to notice. Like, for example, this golden coat hanger, very beautiful. And then the lamps. Check out this lamp, you guys. It is basically like an old vintage torch. That is what it is giving. Moving on to the bathroom. I really like this bathroom. It's simple, but elegant. You don't need much in a bathroom. I mean, you know, you've got your sink, your toilet, which actually has a very unique and special shape and design to it. It's definitely not a typical one you see around. You've got a nice big shower, but what I really like are the simple design touches in here. We have these gorgeous tiles that have a very unique carving to them, as well as these gold details. This sink is stunning, and the reason is it used to be an old sewing stand. It even used to have a pedal and everything, and they've basically found a piece of wood that they've managed to carve a hole into and place a sink. Very smart, very unique, and very vintage. And as I mentioned earlier, every room has a chandelier, and so does the bathroom. Moving on to the final room, which is the bedroom. This room is very interestingly designed. There's a lot going on in here, but it works. Let's start off with this magical wall of mirrors. Each one of these mirrors has a different design, a different style, a different size, and they've been put together to create this big, basically wall of art. And the bed, very unique. As you saw, there are some Egyptian elements in this apartment, and I would say that the bed is also one of them. It has a very unique shape. It's a little bit shaped like a coffin, and you feel very cozy and protected in it. Also incredible carvings all over it. We also have a nice large art piece that brings in a pop of color into this room. A beautiful large mirror, which is always very convenient to have, with little details here, like the torch that we had on the lamps, and a vintage dresser, as well as some more Egyptian touches. Another interesting element is this Japanese art that just pops up in the bedroom. You also have it in the bigger art piece that we saw a second ago. It's just very unique because you've got some Egyptian elements, some Japanese elements. It's a very international themed 20s apartment. Now, before we wrap up, let's take a quick trip back in time, because this apartment, it's definitely seen some things. Picture this, it's the 1920s. Berlin is wild, electric, and a little bit scandalous. And right here in Prenzlauer Berg, artists, writers, and free thinkers are packing into smoky bars, debating politics, and dancing to jazz till dawn. This particular apartment was most likely used as a storefront back in the day. And fast forward to today, and this space is being rented out as a short-term rental. So back to a business use, but just in a more modern way. But then jump ahead a few decades, the party's over. World War II leaves its mark, and after the war, this neighborhood becomes part of East Berlin. The energy shifts. Now it's a haven for rebels, artists, and dissidents, all pushing back against the strict rules of the GDR. People here weren't just drinking absinthe anymore, they were making history. Then, 1989, the wall falls. Prenzlauer Berg transforms yet again. The once crumbling buildings, they get a glow up, cafes and boutiques move in, and suddenly it is one of the trendiest districts in Berlin. So what's Prenzlauer Berg like today in 2025? Well, think trendy meets historic. It's full of beautifully restored old buildings, tree-lined streets, and a mix of young families, creatives, and expats who've made it their home. And the vibe? Well, it is very chill, but also very stylish. You'll find tons of cozy cafes, indie boutiques, and cool cultural spots like the Kulturbrauerei. Definitely said that wrong, but it's a former brewery turned into an event space. And if you're around on a Sunday, Mauerpark is the place to be. With its massive flea market and legendary open-air karaoke that I've yet to try, it's got the perfect mix of urban energy and laid-back charm, making it one of the most sought-after neighborhoods in Berlin. So while we're admiring this wonderfully transformed space, just remember that this place has perhaps lived through roaring 20s parties, Cold War secrets, and some of the biggest turning points in history. It does make you wonder, if these walls could talk, what stories would they tell?